What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. I decided to take yesterday off, and I'll probably take Sundays off just to have a day to kind of refresh my thoughts, make sure I can come to a different part of my house. So I'm moving. Here we go. So what's up, everybody? Today we're talking about making a commitment. And this is something that I think all of us have such a beautiful opportunity to do at this particular time, is to commit to something beyond what we normally would have, because we have the time, the space, the energy to be able to make that commitment. And so, but the process of making a commitment is something that's difficult, because the thing is that we've all made commitments and then we've gone back on them. And the more that you make a commitment and go back on it, the less you trust yourself. You're like, I'm going to do this thing, and then you don't do it. And then it becomes easier not to do it the next time, because you're like, I broke that one commitment that one time, and no, here I am, like nothing happened, so I can break this next commitment too. And then so the less you trust yourself. So I think one of the key things to making a commitment, and it's one of the reasons why I wrote Own the Day the way I wrote Own the Day, was it was just focusing on one day. Like, just commit to one fucking day. Like, that's like, if you can do that, like, you can do that. Shit, it's hard to commit to a 40-day program. You know, like, I've tried to commit to so many things that I haven't been able to do it. I was going to commit to 6 months of celibacy. I lasted 9 days. Like, all right, so you trust yourself a little less after that. And so it's not like I haven't failed in the same way in all of these same practices. But nonetheless, like, making these small commitments is really what's going to be incredibly valuable. And it's also what I talked about in the book. Like, even the simple commitment of being in the shower and just committing to turn the nozzle as cold as possible and take your 20 breaths in the shower or however long you're going to be in there. Like, that commitment, like, helps strengthen your ability. It's like your commitment muscle gets stronger every time you do that. You know, the pool still out here in Austin is still cold as shit. You know, here's my pool. And I sit there and I put my goggles on, and there was a time when I would go out there and I'd be like, oh man, do I really want to do this? And like, oh. But now I'm just like, no, fuck this. I'm walking one step in front of the other. I'm just walking into this pool, and then I'm going to put my goggles on, and then I'm going to start to fucking swim. Period. Like, there's no other option. So what the muscle that I've trained that's been really good for me is I've trained the muscle in the ability to do the thing that I know I need to do right now. If I need to do something right now, I'm going to fucking do it right now. You know, like, that's something that is, you know, I've really trained that skill. Now, the longer term commitments, those are harder for me, you know. So even something like, I'm going to go keto all week. You know, sometimes I've done that, but sometimes I'll get to day 3 or day 4 and be like, I had a good workout. I'll have the spaghetti. You know what I mean? Like, so what I find is making like small commitments and then building those up. So maybe I make a 3-day commitment, or maybe I make some other commitment. That's like one of the is to make it in a way that, you know, is small enough, is bite-sized enough that you know you're going to win. And that's absolutely crucial. So the next part about it that is really important is that when you make this commitment, you try to make it in a way that you yourself out. You know, like, you commit to such a strong, in such a strong way. Oh, I think something's happening with my earbuds there. I keep seeing them show up. Let me see if I can fix that. Sorry, guys. That might be affecting the audio in some way. Well, I'm gonna go out. The case is over here.
Just in case.
You know, put them in. Thank you, friends. Thank you, team friends. And my third place for this live here. All right, so it's a place beyond questioning. It's a place where you leave yourself no other options and no other outs. And that's an ethos. And that's an ethos that you really build, where it's like, you start to analyze what your outs are going to be. Like track your mind in a way where you start to think like, all right, what am I going to tell myself? What are the excuses that I'm going to give myself? Let's say it's a commitment to keto. Like, what am I going to say to myself? Oh, I had a hard workout. Maybe I'll just have this. Or maybe I'm a little depressed. Maybe I'll just have this. Because you know what's going to happen is the mind is going to find a way to navigate yourself to that excuse, to rationalize the reason why you're going to break your commitment. But you got to be smarter. You got to be more clever than that slippery little mind of yours, right? So you have to know, like, okay, this is what my mind is going to do. It's like that story that my homie Corey Allen told me that one time. And he was like, so someone's quitting cigarettes. They have no cigarettes in the house. And then they go, you know what? I really want to get a peach. And they're like, I'm going to go to the grocery store and get a peach. And so they go to the grocery store, they get a peach. And then as they're at the checkout buying that peach, they look behind the counter. And what do they see? They see the cigarettes. And they're like, I'll get this peach and a pack of cigarettes. And the whole time they were convincing themselves they were going to that supermarket for that fucking peach. But really they weren't going for the peach. Really they were going for the cigarettes. And so you have to be able to be aware of your mind and aware of like how clever it is and how it will guide you into a situation that will give you an out, give you a reason why that you can take that out and not do it. I mean, that was one of the hardest parts of being in the darkness. Being in the darkness was there was a window that I could open in the darkness. And all I had to do to end that whole thing and like see a beautiful view that was outside of my window, all I had to do was just open the window and look outside. You know, and we all have the opportunity with these commitments to open the window and look outside. We can all flip on our Instagrams or flip on like the TV or turn on Netflix or do whatever the fuck we want to do and not do the thing that we're committing to do. But we have to like circumvent that by actually tracking and being aware of what our tendencies might be. And the last thing is you have to anchor it to a really important why. Like why? Why am I doing this? You know, which is why actually doing these IG lives hasn't been a difficult commitment, because I know that now is when people need to connect and I need to show up and serve in the best way possible. Like the need is there, and I love you guys. I really do. And so like if that's the reason, if you're doing it because you love people and it's the time to love people and you're doing it for love, well, then the commitments become so much fucking easier. And then it's like, of course I'm going to do this. I'm going to show up every fucking day. Like there's not another option. I'm not going to do this. You know, and if I do need time for myself, like it doesn't mean that you can't be flexible. I needed a day yesterday. I just did. I needed a day to be just watch movies. I watched like 4 movies. I didn't do shit. Like I just needed one of those days to just hit the reset button for myself. And so, okay, I'll take that, you know, and then I'll be right back at it. And I think that's important as well, is it's not binary. So if you make a commitment and you break it, like you say, all right, no sugar for 12 days. And then you have like a couple bites of somebody's cookie. Like it doesn't mean it's starting over, it's game over and you ruin your 12 days. It's not a binary game. This is like, just stick with it, stick with it, stick with it. If it's a workout commitment, if it's a spiritual commitment, a meditation commitment, if you fall off, just get right the fuck back on. You know, if you're saying, I'm not going to drink, and then you have a few drinks, okay, fuck it, get right back on. You know, like just keep going, you know, because it's the really accumulation of what you're doing, not like the pass fail. You know, we try to live in this 0-1 binary pass fail system. It's not that. There's a gradient. There's a million different ways in how close you can get. And if you can just manage that, but not allow that to be an excuse for you to break the commitment, well, then that's important. And this is really like making the commitment is one of like the first key steps in the hero's journey, because we're going to get the call. Like we really know what we want to commit to. Like I bet all of you guys, like right now, know something that you want to commit to. So you've heard the call. You've heard the call. You know there's something that you should do. There's something right now that you know it. Okay, so the next step is to make a commitment. But then the step that comes after that is not actually even to do it. The step that comes after that is to get the help that you need to figure out how to do it, right? So that's what they call meeting the mentor. That's what they call getting that help, getting that community, getting that support, getting that advice, getting those kind of technical abilities. If you're committing to a diet or committing to a workout, well, know what the diet is. Figure it out. Gather all the information, understand it, track your mind, get ready, talk to someone who can hold you accountable, get all of your pieces in a row, and then, salto mortale, leap into the void. Take that first step, cross the threshold, and there you're in it. And then you're really in the game. But really, the steps go in that order. Commit, make the commitment, gather the information, gather the support, gather the allies, and then cross the motherfucking threshold. Take that first step, and then go. And if you fall and you fall on your face, no worries. Go back, and be willing to, after you take a look at it, be willing to adjust and be like, okay. And again, going back to that very first lesson that I was talking about, you don't need to commit to something for the rest of your life or for 6 months or a year. Just make a commitment that you can win. And then if you want to re-up on that commitment, great. But at least you have a win in your books. So if you're planning something for a month, okay, maybe you start with 3 days. And then every 3 days you re-up that commitment 10 times. So it makes 30 days. But then you have 10 wins in your book instead of 1 failure when you do the thing you didn't want to do at day 17, right? Then you have 1 failure. Otherwise, you would have 5 successes, 1 fail, but then you're back on it again and you can rack up another 4 wins. And so the way that you learn to trust yourself is better. So getting those kind of bite-sized commitments, that's another huge step. All right, fam. So that's my rant for the day. And so let's just talk about it. I'll talk about, look at some of your questions. Yoga for 30 days. Go for it. But try that yoga for 3 days, 10 times, Goddesses are waking up. Indeed they are. We're all waking up. Walk us through your in-home workout and home gym must-haves. Honestly, I just use the honest stuff. I'm an unconventional fitness guy. Kettlebell, steel mace, steel clubs. I have a barbell that I do some deadlifts with, and I run a hill and I swim laps. I keep it simple. I have a heavy bag. So I just kind of listen to my body, and that's something I was talking to Paul Check about. And I was like, what do you think I should do for a diet or a cleanse? He's like, I don't know, ask your body. Your body knows better than me. And I was like, oh yeah, you're right. If I ask my body, it does know better than me. And I think we got to really trust our body more than we trust what other people's advice are. If we really learn to listen to what we're actually telling ourselves, I think we'll get a lot more answers than we realize. Did Darkness Retreat prep you well for this? Totally. Darkness Retreat, this is a fucking virtual paradise. Look at all this shit I have around here. It's beautiful things to see. Look, I got beautiful places to go outside. Everything is awesome compared to being in the darkness. So, this is no big deal when it comes to that. And also the mental fortitude and just the deep lessons that I learned. Quitting nicotine when your roommate is always using it. Well, that's a challenge, right? Because you have it always available. So it is actually the opportunity to strengthen your muscles of commitment even stronger, because you're going to have to commit in the face of access. Sure, it's easy to not have sex if you live in a same-sex monastery or a nunnery and there's nobody around, but it's a lot harder when you're out in the real world. It's if you want to quit drinking alcohol, but you work at a bar, well, that's going to take a lot more commitment. So just realize you're just going to have to strengthen your muscles stronger than the opportunities that you have. How do you think people can lead right now? People can lead right now by being the example. And I think we really have to recognize that leading right now is to show yourself visibly without fear. And that doesn't mean, not taking the precautionary measures. It means showing yourself without fear, with courage, with belief that we're headed to a better place than when we came in. And if people see that and they feel it and they know that you're excited about this is where we're going and it's going to be better, well, they're going to feel that. And that's the way you lead. It's not by what you do. It's about how you be. It's about how you show up. And I think that's the most important thing. When are you catching me on a podcast again? I release podcasts every Wednesday. And this Wednesday, I'm going to be talking with actually Seth Godin. So it's going to be a lot of business stuff. tips through speaking and sharing ideas right now through writing or podcasting, etc. Just share it through every channel possible. I mean, I think Gary Vee talks about this in the best way possible. Like everywhere that you can actually post content. But the key to posting content is post it in places where people already are. So if you're writing something, write it right on your Instagram, or write it right on your Facebook, or post it to places where people already are. How does intuition show up in your body? It's always just a whisper. It's a knowing, and there might be doubts, but I think like the more that you know yourself and the more that you kind of listen to yourself, the better it'll be. Thanks, Nebrasmuka, for the Own the Day shout out. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, the more information you have, the more you'll be able to tune into solutions to your body. It's like you'll be able to translate a need with a solution even better when those solutions become available. What is my definition of success? Just having your heart open, feeling love, feeling joy, feeling the abundance from within. Like external abundance is a game that is never going to satisfy anybody. It's a constant chase. I've known some of the wealthiest people in the world, and I wouldn't call them rich, not for a second. I call the people rich who live in that abundance of the heart and abundance of the mind and that abundance of their attitude. And that can be when I was in poverty-stricken Africa, in the Soweto slums in Kenya and in Uganda, I saw richer people than I have in Greenwich, Connecticut, because they were just richer in smiles and richer in laughter and richer in community and richer in love. So that's my definition of success. Doesn't mean that you can't chase all of those external forms of success. Go for it. There's a lot that you can do with that kind of energy and that kind of platform. So what is my newest commitment? My newest commitment is to write a story, and I'm writing a book, so that's different than the story. And the story that I'm writing is a story that takes place 10 years from now. It's a fictional story, and in this story, it takes place 10 years from now, and we're looking back at everything that happens right now, and looking back and saying, wow, this is the best thing that ever happened to us. And so it's telling the story from a purview and a perspective of, this is exactly what we needed as a world to collectively make the changes for the better. And yeah, it's fiction, but I just feel really called to write that. So that's what I'm doing. That's my commitment, is to devote myself to that. And actually, one of the things is I knew I was going into this period and to write both a book and a fictional story at the same time, and do the podcast and my morning inspirational texts and these Instagram lives and my daily posts and everything I have to do. Like, I have to sacrifice like a lot of things I have to cut out. And that includes like drinking and partying and having fun. And so I had, two of my best friends over and we got after it on Saturday, just a really close group of a couple of us. And we had a lot of sake. And, I had one of my friends I feel so bad for him. He just opened an amazing restaurant. He delivered some food. And we ate the food, and I drank an enormous amount of sake. And I was like, this is my last celebration before I really commit, and there was a kind of ceremonial nature to it where I've actually started the story and I read it to my closest friends who are here. And then from there I was like, all right, I'm all in, I'm all in with everything I'm doing. Your roommates think that you're weird for the saltwater lemon morning cocktail. What should I tell them? Tell them to read the book. It has all the science in there. We're a saltwater organism, so if we're not taking in enough sea salt, we're going to run into problems. It's like having the shelves unstocked at Home Depot. We don't have those minerals. We're not going to be able to repair the house. It's our body. So that's the key. Is vulnerability the key to connection? I think you already know the answer to that. Of course it is. People have to see the real you. If they don't see the real you, they're going to be connecting to a projected version of you, and a projected version of you is empty of you, so it's not going to be connecting to you, so there's not going to be any connection at all. It would be like trying to plug something into a wall, but keeping it like 6 inches away and hoping the electricity jumps from your plug into the wall. Not going to fucking happen. You got to plug it right into the wall with the truth of who you are, the truth of who they are, and that's going to create the connection. What does my meditation daily routine look like? Honestly, it's not a daily routine, and it could be, but I try to reflect and contemplate. I try to go outside, but sometimes it's stacking rocks. Sometimes it's guided meditation. Sometimes it's medicine-assisted meditation. There's a variety of different tools that I use. Sometimes it's breath work. I'm really mixing things up. I'm probably doing 5 or 6 meditations a week, but it's not like it's the same every day. So, and I think that's just having, kind of a really big medicine bag and just being able to do that. Listening to your body. Good. Ego creo ergo sum. I am, therefore I create. That's cool. I like that. How am I feeling during this uncertain time? I feel good. I think the key piece for me was committing to writing this story, because it was like, I know what I need to do. I need to create a story, and I need to write this story. I need to write this story for everybody. So that gave me a reason why. And as soon as I had my reason why, as the famous quote is, for someone who knows their why, they can bear almost any how. So yeah, there's sacrifices, but that when you know why and know what you can do, then it really changes the game. How does someone deal with romantic rejection when they don't look like hotness or have money? It's the same, man. It's the same. Or girl, it's the same. Everybody gets rejected. It doesn't matter how wealthy you are or not wealthy you are. It doesn't matter how you look. I've been fucking rejected. I've been rejected a bunch, and been rejected for people who I'm like, I got rejected for, oh my God, there's rejections that happen every single day, all of the time, and it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with what that person sees and what that person is there. Maybe it has something to do with you, and maybe you can learn from it. But nonetheless, learn what you can and realize that that's their journey, and you got to bless their journey, take what you can from it, and don't sweat it. Don't use that as a reflecting mirror back on yourself and say, if I was hotter, I had more money, it wouldn't have happened. I promise that's not the case, right? There's plenty of people who have both that get rejected all the fucking time. How does open relationship work? Well, first of all, how does your open relationship work now that intimacy is at such a high risk? I don't have an open relationship anymore. I'm single. So, but I think it's something that you have to be mindful of, and just be mindful of the circle that you're in, and make sure that circle, let's say you have a couple people that you're going to be seeing throughout this period, then make sure that they're being mindful of the other people that they're trying to see. So you're almost in a small, intimate, group quarantine, just like a family, a family lives together. I have friends that have 5, 6 fucking kids, their family's 7 people. Nobody's like, you have to kick 3 of your kids out of the house because there's too many people in there. No, it's your family, so I think we can just make conscious decisions to have access to your family, but just keep the circle small, and make sure that family isn't going to visit their parents, and isn't going to visit the people who are highly immune compromised, that this virus is really affecting the most. What did I learn from Tim McGraw? The thing that I learned from Tim McGraw the most was just seeing how he was as a human. He was as authentic and rock solid as a human being as anybody I have ever met. He really was the real deal. He was who he claimed to be. He was who he says he was, and it was just beautiful. He just comes from a place of heart, and that was awesome. Let's see. Describe what I would do if I got injured and bankrupt at the same time and you're stuck in a different country. Well, that's something that only you know how to do. I would really listen to what this opportunity presents itself as, take the Stoic perspective. All right, this is an incredibly deep challenge. What can I do to make the best of this? How can I use this to make me stronger? How can I use this to strengthen my spiritual practices? How can I use this to be a better person? And just constantly ask yourself that question. How goal-oriented am I versus free-flowing? I think I'm intention-oriented rather than goal-oriented, because goal then begs an outcome that gives you another pass-fail, but an intention is I'm going to be doing this. My intention is to write this story. My goal isn't to have a story that gets read by 7 million people. So if it gets read by 2 million people, then I failed, So it's intention. Tips for making intermittent fasting as easy as possible. commit to it. Just fucking do it, and just do it. And I think easier is to choose the 8-hour feeding window starting at noon and ending at 8 p.m. I mean, that's just typically the easiest way to do it. But you'll find it out, and just do it, man. Just commit. Let's see. Best advice for my 25-year-old self: enjoy it more. Enjoy it more. It's all going to work out. It's all going to work out. Just fucking enjoy it more. Like, keep learning, enjoy it more. It's the right choice because you chose it and you needed to learn that way. Even if it led you down some shitty back alley, that you got lost in, well, you needed to learn something from that shitty back alley. So it's all good. Like, just enjoy it more. I wish I would have enjoyed it more. Thanks for the love for my podcast, everybody. I appreciate that. How to be a mermaid with the beaches closed? That's challenging, for sure. I don't know, maybe sing like Ariel. There you go. That's how you do that. All right. How do you move on from someone you love? Really, when you love someone, what you really love is you love the experience of being in love. And just recognize that experience of being in love, you don't have to anchor it to the person that you were in love with, and that you're just really in love with the experience of being in love, and you'll find another love experience. Love is everywhere, and love is all around us. So, just remember that it's the experience of being in love that does not have to be tethered to that one person that gave you that experience. And I think that's the best advice I can give. What is my definition of happiness? Happiness is acceptance of the reality that you're in without resistance, right? So, you're not going to be all giddy and fucking happy all the time. That's not happiness. That's bullshit. That's fake. Happiness is acceptance of the moment that you're in, whatever moment that is in. And maybe that's going to be acceptance. Maybe that's going to be enjoyment. Maybe that's going to be enthusiasm. But either way, you have to accept the moment that you're in and be in the moment that you're in. And that's happy. Am I floating right now? No. Do I have the corona? No. How do I know Robert Greene? I don't know. I think through Lewis Howes, actually. And then also through, obviously, Ryan Holiday. They're good friends. What else? What is the painting in my meditation room called? Who made it? It's from Hannah Yata. So Hannah, Y-A-T-A. It's amazing. Thanks, y'all. You guys are so sweet. You guys are the coolest. Bro, are you okay? You look a bit puffy. Yeah, I'm good. Like I said, I fucking partied this weekend, on Saturday. So I slept it off a little bit, but I wouldn't put myself in like A1 tip-top condition, I had a lot of sake. All right. At least people aren't making fun of my nose today. This is the first live where people haven't made comment about mount nostrils or being Nostradamus. Let's see. How do you get on the text feed? Just text 512-572-5222. 512-572-5222. Do I use red light therapy at home? Yes. Do I think Gaia is kicking our ass? Maybe. I have connected to a collective consciousness that feels like Gaia, feels like the earth. But I think this has something a lot more to us waking up to our addiction to fear. I really think that's where we're at right now. How am I managing working out during these times? Well, I have a dope workout set up in my garage, and so I just work out in my garage. Let's see. Bro, why are you aging so quick? I don't know. I'm fucking aging. I'm aging the way I'm aging. I don't. That's a funny question. What are the books you're looking forward to reading on your downtime? I'm reading, I got a new galley for Paul Selig's new book, Alchemy, which is fucking beautiful because that book's not going to be out for a while, so I'm definitely going to be reading that, and I'm stoked. I'm stoked for that. What am I most passionate about right now? I'm passionate about writing that story that I've been talking to you about. I really, really am psyched about writing that story. And of course, writing my book as well. Both of those things I'm really stoked on. Do I ever catch myself projecting my anima onto the women I meet? I've caught myself projecting, a lot of things onto a lot of people. And I think the more awareness you have, the less you'll be projecting. So that's the key, is just be aware of it and don't judge yourself. We all project on other people. So, just really, really listen to that. Thanks, y'all. Aw, you guys are sweet. I'm getting to the sweet part. The funny thing is I'm always on like a lag here. So like the things I talked about 5 minutes ago, because I have to slow it down because things go so fast. It's really like hard to articulate, but I see things that are like 5 minutes late. So I'm going to keep going here for a second and see where we end up. What kind of flute do you play? And will I play it? Yeah, I will. I'll play my flute one of these times. I'm not going to play it right now because we're coming to the end of this thing, but I'll play my flute for y'all. I played the didge for y'all last time, but I'll definitely play the flute. The necklace. This is a special necklace. It's beads that represent all my closest friends, and we all exchange beads. It's just like a kind of a little friendship ritual that we have. Do I ever wake up in the middle of the night with the urge to write? Sometimes. Often it happens before I go to bed. Like I'll start to lie down and I'll be like, I can't sleep. I'm like, there's something coming up. That's where actually the start of my last story came up. So that was like, I was like, I got to write this. So I wrote for an hour and then crashed. Would you ever do a book of my poems? Absolutely. I'm planning on it. And InQ made me commit to it on the podcast I'm releasing to them on April 1st. So book of poems is coming. No doubt. New tattoos in the works? Nope. Done with that. For a while at least. I might get a portrait of my mom at some point. When did I start practicing Wim Hof method? I started practicing like shamanic breathing probably like 12 years ago, but the Wim Hof method in particular, that was probably 7 years ago or so when I actually met Wim. Wim came over to the house. So that was dope. All right. Oh man, we made it. We made it to the end of the feed. Beautiful. What has Ted Decker taught me? A fucking lot. And if you really want to understand, like, read The 49th Mystic and Rise of the Mystics, and you'll get a good idea of what Ted Decker has to teach. Again, that's Rise of the Mystics and The 49th Mystic. All right. I love you guys. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. I appreciate you every day more and more. So I'll be back again tomorrow. So sign up for my text feed to get the text in the morning. Otherwise, you can usually check my IG story and I'll have it there as well. Love y'all. Peace.